Hi everyone, I wanted to make this really quick video to talk about the new launch of this YouTube channel. I'm really excited to kind of share my journey into the barefoot world. It's not a world that I'm unfamiliar with. Back in college, I actually wore barefoot shoes even though I wasn't fully conscious of the community and the space. In college, I was very adventurous. I started to explore outdoor activities. I grew up from the inner city, so I wasn't really exposed to a lot of this stuff growing up. And so, when I got the opportunity to experience it in college, I went all in. And while I was there, I met some folks who were really into Vibram Fivefingers, which I thought was a strange name because they're toes, they're not fingers. And I was like, what are those? So I took a look at it. I went and got my first pair of Vibrams, which were the KSOs, and I enjoyed the experience. It was weird. I never thought about walking barefoot, especially because I'm a clean person, and just the idea of getting my feet dirty on concrete and pavement just doesn't really appeal to me at all. But the feeling of it, I do enjoy, and so and I do like to walk around in sand and grass. This was my first introduction into barefoot. And so I went nuts. I ended up buying a whole closet full of Vibram Fivefingers at that time, whenever I can catch it on deal. Ended up getting like a leather version of the shoe from the kangaroo leather with the Trek bottom on it. So it was really good for taking it out on trails and just doing hikes and stuff like that. And so I was wearing those shoes for the vast majority of the time. I even wore that kangaroo leather version to a ball with a whole suit, and no one even knew that I was wearing finger shoes, basically. So that was kind of cool, and I enjoyed that experience. And I was a weird kid on campus wearing foot shoes. That was kind of what I was known for at that time. Graduation hit. You start entering the workforce and you gotta wear regular shoes like a normal person. So, that's what I started doing. And I started to try to keep some of those elements of comfort with this new space that was requiring a regular shoe. And some of the shoes that I experimented with were Converse and Vans, because they're more of a flat shoe for the most part. And so I wore those a lot. And I did experiment a little bit with Adidas shoes as well. But then, the toe box was always an issue. But I was like, the rest of the shoe's good. I'll just rock with it. I also like the styles. I love the collaborations that Converse did during those days with graffiti artists and experimenting with different materials like rubber and reinforced canvas and all these different types of things. I love those types of things. I love artistry. And so I was really all about all of that. And then I got an office job, and that kind of changed things because now I have to learn this whole new space. Suits, ties, sweater vests, regular suit vests, double-breasted, all these different things, that go into office attire. I had to figure that out. And obviously, one of the key elements of a office wardrobe is your shoes. And so I got my feet wet first with Johnston Murphy, just to kind of get an idea. I know at Macy's you can get some super cheap stuff. Stacey Adams, I think is what those shoes are called. And then eventually I learned a little bit more. Thursday boots, became a part of the picture. And that's when I really started to pay attention to quality and the importance of good leather, the importance of stitching, Blake stitch, Goodyear Welch stitch, all these different things that go into quality shoes. And then eventually I started moving into Allen Edmond. I still, moved into Cobber Union, things of that nature. And I really liked the quality of the shoes that I was wearing. Even Crown New Hampton, which I know some people might not know them because they're in the UK, but I was really in the search of finding really good leather shoes, and that's what gave me the appreciation for leather shoes. However, I noticed some problems as I got older. And so, my feet started to deform more. They were always kind of weird. I always had a slight curve of my big toe, but as I was wearing Converse for years and all these shoes that would smush my toes together, they really started to wreak havoc on my foot and deforming it to something that it was never meant to be. And so I had to really think hard about, you know, my footwear, and you know, I started having some knee problems, some hip problems, and then I went back to my roots. I went back to like, well, I didn't have any of these issues when I was in college, and I was wearing barefoot shoes. And some person said, well, you're older now. It's like, yeah, but is it really aging or is it something else? And so, you know, I'm going to be documenting this journey, reviewing different products as I learn more about the space. I'm looking forward to talking about different shoes that I find, and you know, some different brands. I know a lot of you guys are already well versed with Vivo Barefoot and Zero, but I want to offer my thoughts to these brands, especially coming from my background of you know, more of, you know, the dress shoe, leather, and definitely things like that. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to sharing these thoughts with you guys in this new channel, and I can't wait to see what gets put on my foot next. You just have to stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video.